In this video, we're going to take a look and see how to do and submit written assignments for the class. So when you're in the module, here's what the written assignments look like. They're located, written assignment number 1. There are 3 parts to a written assignment in the module. There are the written assignment number 1, directions and resources. So this is a page where I put resources for the assignments. So there's a PDF file of the answer sheet, and then a link to where to turn it in. And then some resources for each of the parts of the activities. Okay? So this is just a resource page. The next part of the written assignment is the actual assignment itself. Okay? Every assignment, let me open the first written assignment so you can see what they look like. Okay, so in the assignments, the due date for this, all 3 parts, is September 9th. Points possible are 50. There are 3 parts. Part 1 is a technology lab. Part 2 is a discussion board practice problems. These are due at a different time than the written assignment, but I'll show you that in just a second. Part 3 are the application problems. So what you've got in here are the directions. So I'm going to click on that. These are in PDFs. So the directions are complete the following activities, then copy, paste, or show your work on the answer sheet for written assignment 1. Submit the answer sheet only as a single document with your work in one of 2 formats. So you can choose a Word document. So you can copy, paste graphs from Desmos into your Word document and embed images of your work into a Word document. So the answer sheet is posted as a Word document, so you can copy and paste directly on it. So if you choose to do it this way, that's perfectly fine. Next option, you can have a PDF. You can print the answer sheet with your graphs cut and pasted. You can show your work on the document by hand, and then scan your work if you have access to a scanner, or you can use the Cam Scanner app on your phone that converts photos to PDF documents. These are the 2 types of files that you can turn in, but not images, either a Word document or a PDF. So part 1 is a technology lab. And the technology lab is using Desmos to create graphs and tables. So you've got some videos that you can watch, and your assignment or your task is to use Desmos to graph this function on the domain from -5 to -1 and show a table of values on the function from -5 to -1. Then, once you get that done in Desmos, you copy and paste your Desmos graph onto the answer sheet. Okay, so these are going to walk you through how to do that. And next part is a discussion board post. This is done in the discussion board, but I've got the problems written here if you want to just have them in 2 places. So the discussion board post, what you're going to do is you're going to work through these 3 problems. And then you're going to post all the problems, and then you're going to post your solution in the discussion board. Okay? Part 3 is an application problem. This one has to do with free fall, and this goes through free fall and 2 ideas in our class. So you'll follow the directions here, and then write your answers on the separate answer sheet. Okay? So the written assignment directions. Then you have a written assignment answer sheet. So this is the Word document where you copy and paste all your work. So there's your part 1, technology lab, copy and paste your graph below. Oops. Then the discussion board graded in Canvas, application problem. So you'll copy and paste your answers onto the answer sheet, or you'll print it out and do them by hand and scan it. Or you can do your answers, write them on a piece of paper, take a picture, and embed your images in here. So it's in the Word document because you can insert photos, etc. in here. Okay? So there it is. You can insert a picture. So if you're taking pictures of your work, you can put them right in here. Or you can scan it and make a PDF out of it. Okay, so once you do one of them, you'll know how to do all of them. So that is the written assignment, and this is something to work on through, as you work through everything else, work on this as well. So last part I want to show you is the discussion board part of this. So we can go to the discussions. Here's what the discussion board is going to look like for the written assignment. Again, this is split into groups because there's so many of us. So what you'll do is you've got 3 problems to do and post in the discussion board. Okay, so these are written on the written assignment as well, so you can write them down. So what you're going to do is you're going to solve the problems, and notice you can write math type on the discussion board. That's how I got these on here. So what you're going to do is for the 10 points, if all of your solutions are correct, you get 9 points for the correct solutions, 3 points each. And then, oops, that should say 1 point for answering any other student or instructor questions about your solution. So if I have a question or another student in our discussion group has a question, we can ask you questions about your solution and you get the full 10 points for having them correct. If you get one wrong, at least 1 or 2 or all 3 problems incorrect, you still get 6 points for posting each, 2 per problem. But that means if you only post 1 problem, you only get 2 points. Okay. And then 4 points for your reply explaining your error and how to fix it. So the idea is when you post, you're going to hit reply. You're not going to be able to see anybody else's solutions until you post yours. So you're going to post your solution, hit submit, and then I'll check it and let you know whether it's correct or not. And then what I'd like you to do is look at other students' solutions and then see what you did wrong if you missed them. So if your solution is correct and other students are asking you questions about how you did it, answer those. If your solution is wrong, incorrect, check other student solutions, ask them questions, and then reply to your own post explaining where you made your error and then fix it. So the goal of this is to try out problems, and then if you get them wrong or you're not quite sure, you can look at everybody else's answers and then figure out what went wrong. So the goal is eventually you'll have all 3 of them correct. Okay? So when you reply, I just want to show you how to put an equation in here. There's this little insert math equation. So what you can do is you can use the type up here. So this gives you a subscript. So if you want to type x squared, you type x, and this types a little box so you can put a squared. Then you have to use the arrow key to the right arrow to keep going. Plus you just use your keyboard, 7, etc. I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Then if you want to do a fraction, the n over m is a fraction. So if you want f of x plus 3 over 7, you can type that in. The downside is you can only type, I can only get it to do 1 line per. So as you're showing your work, maybe put a equals in between so I can see that each line is your work, so you can type all your work in the same. So there aren't a ton of math items here. There's a square root button, square root of x, and then the arrow to get out of it. There's an nth root. So if you need the cube root of x, you can do that. So there should be enough math keys up here so that we can get everything you need. And then when you click on insert equation, it puts it right in your discussion post. Okay, so this is one where you can't really, it looks like you can embed an image, but it asks you for a URL. So you could possibly embed an image as well, but I think it might be easier just to type your work in there. Okay, so that's how we do discussion boards. You'll put your work in there, and as soon as you post your reply, you'll be able to see everybody else's work and see how well and see how you did. Then if you want to delete your post, you can just click on delete. If you're like, oh, I didn't really want to do that, then you can do that. So the goal of the written assignments is to kind of put it all together. It's to have a, oh, by the way, the discussion board is due by August 30th, and then your written assignment is due later. So the discussion boards, for the most part, will be due a little bit earlier than the written assignment. So this is the way I get to take a due before your quiz for sure, so I can get in here and see how you're doing. Okay? So the goal of the written assignments are to learn the technology, to have a place in the discussion board where you can work on problems together and practice, and then to look at applications.